And thanks for joining us today on Central Valley Talk. I'm Mike Scott. My next guest, Robert Howk, local attorney. He's going to talk about pet trusts. And he brought his buddy Aspen. She is a good dog, a German short-haired pointer.
Yep.
Spends a lot of time with you at work, huh?
Oh, yeah. She's in our office. She has her own title. She has her own office. She's the senior executive vice president in charge of tail wagging.
Tail wagging. I bet she does that job very well.
She greets a lot of people, too, in the office when she gets a chance to get out, get around and stuff.
So explain to folks, Robert, what a pet trust is and who needs them. Why do you think they're necessary?
Well, I brought in a few statistics. On an average, just the ASPCA, not all the other animal shelters, but they just keep statistics just for themselves. There's no national database on this, but just the ASPCA, if they're right, there's approximately 7.6 million animals surrendered to them every year. Of those, 3.9 million are dogs and 3.4 million are cats. 10% of those, or about 760,000 animals a year, are because the owner died. And nobody can take care of them. And most people think that simply because they said, little Johnny or Susie or whoever, you're going to take care of my pet if something happens to me, they'll do that. But what happens is little Johnny and little Susie live in an apartment someplace, they can't have an animal. They don't want the job of taking care of the dog or the cat or whatever. And
so it ends up in the pound.
Ends up in the pound. And a lot of those animals are euthanized.
So how does a trust work into that?
What happens in the trust is we can build in a number of different features with a trust. One is like UC Davis Veterinary Clinic. They have a program up there. In order to get into their program with the pet trust, you have to have the pet examined by their school, their veterinary school people, to be declared solid. And then if something happens...
Solid meaning healthy?
Healthy.
Yeah.
And then if something happens, they find a grad student, preferably in the veterinary field, who will take care of the animal. But what you have to pay, and at the last time I heard it was like $10,000, to give them to take care of the animal, to take care of vet bills and feed and stuff for the animal for the rest of its life. The adopters would take care of the love and affection part of it. Well, sometimes that's the easy part, huh, sweetie? And then other times, other places like Valley Animal Clinic, or Valley Animal Shelter, I talked to them today. She knows exactly what's in that pocket.
The treats.
Yeah. Okay.
So Valley Animal Center will
do the same thing.
If you make a donation to them?
If you do make a donation to them. In fact, I just talked with them today, and for their event on October 24th, my wife, Marcy, and I are donating a pet trust to them as one of their door prizes.
Oh, nice.
All right. That's a good goal. And this one, she requires, after we got attached to her, found out how much she requires in line of attention, which is the other thing that when you pass on, your kids may not know how much attention a dog needs. This little girl needs to run about an hour and a half, 2 hours a day. If she doesn't, she becomes insufferable, and she becomes irritable. She'll gnaw on things she shouldn't gnaw on. And
I always say a tired dog is a well-behaved dog.
Yes, and she goes to the dog park, Central Valley Animal Shelter's dog park over there at Thornton Dog Park, and runs. She's a very happy puppy, but she'll live, according to the stats, probably to be about between 13 and 18 years old. So she's got a long life. She's only 3 now. She's going to hide now. She likes a lot of attention and things, but you can set this up with the pet trust. We recommend that you don't give the residue or what's left over in the pet trust to the person caring for them when the animal passes, because then there gets to be a financial incentive for somebody to
put the animal to sleep. Yeah.
Put the animal to sleep, let them die or something like this. Donate that residue to someplace like the Valley Animal Center, the ASPCA, UC Davis Veterinary Clinic, someplace that you want to go to that will help take care of the animals. You decided to join us again.
Yeah. So this should be separate from your will.
It should be separate from your will.
Can it be part of a will?
It can be part of a will, can be part of a trust. It all depends. Now, it was set up by the California legislature a few years back. You'll have to forgive me, it escapes me exactly when, but they actually put it in the probate code that there is a codified section for pet trusts. So pet trusts are You don't have to go to court and fight the kids to protect the animal, saying, the animal shouldn't inherit. So there's actually provision in there where they can inherit, and other pets like this little girl, they'll know that they're taken care of if something happens to their owner. Now, I've seen another card, which is nice, that single people say, I'm a single person. If you find me, you find this card, my animal's at home. Please go to this address and take care of it. I'm a little leery of that because if anybody else gets it, then they know where you live, and they know the animal's name, and they can get in. Her, on the other hand, would help a burglar carry things out. They're very docile. You'd want to help, huh?
Yeah. Okay. So is it very expensive to set one of these up?
If I do it as part of a trust package, it's like another $50 because I'm in there
they're
already.
Worth that, yeah.
If I have to do it separately and I have to build the whole trust just to fit her, rather than adding it as a provision to the other trust, then I have to do lots of things like funding things and make sure everything's set up right. It's a little more expensive. That can be $1,200 to $1,500, depending upon how elaborate we want to get. But there should always be a funding mechanism either within your regular estate plan or as part of this, of a regular estate plan, to make sure that money goes in there to take care of the animal.
Absolutely.
And that needs to be funded first. Then that way these guys taken care of, and we don't euthanize 1 million of them a year simply because somebody else died.
Right.
That seems a little cruel.
Okay, so how do folks reach you at your office, or if they want more information about this?
Either you could go to, we have a couple different website addresses. One of them is centralvalleyelderlaw.com. It's a little easier than spelling my name of Howk, H-O-W-K, -Downing.com. But either one of those will work, or they can call into our office at area code 559-229-8109.
Okay.
So they're all up in there, and I threatened to bring her down here so she could meet Robbie, but Robbie wasn't happy to see her.
Robbie thinks he's the star. Well, you were very good today, Aspen. Thank you so much. And I bet you're very appreciative knowing that you're taken care of.
Oh, yeah.
If anything happens to Dad.
Just, I've almost got my humans trained.
Okay. All right, Robert Howk, thank you for coming in
very
today
much.
with Aspen. And we'll be back with more on Central Valley Talk.